Hi. Some of you have been kind enough to say that you really find these short masterclasses of mine very useful. So today I thought I'd talk to you about one of the most important areas of our faces as we get older, and that's our eyebrows. The thing about eyebrows is that they don't just frame our eyes very successfully, but they also give proportion and symmetry to our entire face. Now, a lot of older women have very problematic brows. They're either very faded, overplucked, in some instances they've disappeared completely. If I take my eyebrows away, you can see what the effect on my face is. It has quite a weird effect. So they are important, but you don't want them to look too heavy. You don't want them to look ridiculous, and the sort of scouse brow look of the younger girls really doesn't work on an older face. Now, when you look at brows, you've got to think in terms of how wide apart they should be here, and where they need to finish, and also really roughly where the sort of point of the arc is. And you can do all that by measuring it around your eyes. The width apart of the eyebrow should be the same as the width apart of the bottom of the nose. And you can actually measure this by taking a brush and just making sure that that's a fairly straight line. So if the line is doing that, or if it's doing that, they're either too wide apart or too close together. So just have a look at that again. So that's one way that you create this proportion and symmetry. The next is where they end. Now, this is where I have a problem. So my brows look reasonably okay without anything on them, but they end here. And actually, if I draw my line from here, taking out the corner of my eye, they should end there. So I've got quite a lot that's missing here. The arc bit, so again from the base of the nose, through the centre of the eye, the pupil of the eye, up, and you've got the point at which it ought to, start going down, having gone up. Just in terms of shape as well, I think the brows look better when they've got a thickness in this edge, and then they get a little bit narrower, and then they go down to almost disappear into a very fine point. Now, I don't like powder on my eyebrows because I think it looks a bit smudgy. I also don't like pencil because, again, if you're not careful, pencil can look very, very hard. So I came up with what I think is quite ingenious, which is our brow shape. Now, it's a very fine brush and it's got liquid paint in it. And my idea was that we would recreate our faded, missing and problematic brows almost like a portrait painter. We're not called makeup artists for nothing, so why don't we actually use the techniques of art? So I don't know whether you can see that, but I've recreated on the back of my hand some very, very fine lines using my brow paint. And those fine lines, similar to the hair that you get on your brows, means that you can recreate the effect yourself. So I've shaken up the brow shape. I always take the excess off on the back of my hand because I don't want anything blobby. And now I'm just going to go in here and I'm just going to start to add what I think I need to add in order to get a slightly darkened effect, but also to supplement the sort of missing hairs that I've got because my eyebrows are actually not that thick. So I'm just stroking this on using these fine feathery strokes and building up the colour and the definition that I think is appropriate. It takes a bit of practice, it takes a bit of time, but once you get the hang of it, it's really not that difficult. I hope you understand that I'm using my computer screen as a mirror, and it's not a very good mirror, but I'm doing my best. So that's that bit. Just compare it to that. I'm going to also use a spoolie brush in a minute, which I've already used to groom my brows. Now we come to the bit where I think is missing. So back to this. So I think they should end somewhere around there if I make a little mark. Okay. I wouldn't normally do that, but I'm just to show you. So I'm now going to fill in this bit here, the bit that's missing, And again, I'm going to do that using my fine feathery strokes so that I'm just literally creating the effect of some brow hair. There we go. And I'm going to keep it going down until I reach that point there. Okay. So now I think I've more or less finished that. So I'm going to take my spoolie brush, which I groomed my brows to begin with, and I'm now going to just correct the colour density. The brow shape only comes in one colour, and you might think, oh, well, that won't suit me, but you can see that, you know, I've got hair that's going grey, and I don't have particularly dark brows. So I can get this to almost exactly the colour that I need just by using my spoolie after I've applied it. I've used this brow shape on women with all sorts of different coloured eyebrows, from very pale, and in fact to women who have no eyebrows at all, and it works brilliantly. You don't need a lot of colours, you just need to use it slightly differently depending on the intensity of colour that you've already got in your brows. I think that's done. I'm not going to do the other one because I shall do exactly the same thing again, but there will be a photograph at the beginning of the video showing you both brows done, and obviously both reasonably in balance. So I hope that was helpful to you. If you've got very, very untamed brows, go and get them sorted by a professional. Go and get them threaded or tweezed away. I would say always clear hair from this area here, always. Because if you've got eyebrows, if you've got brow hair that's sort of migrating down here, you get this very fuzzy, bushy effect, and it doesn't look very nice at all. So get those tweezed away. Always tweeze out between the brows as well, and don't be afraid of taking brow hairs out if they're misshapen or if they're growing in funny directions. Mine tend to grow out like that, or you've got sort of hooky ones, which I also get. Get rid of them because you know that you've got the brow shape, and what you can do with the brow shape is replace anything that's missing. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. Thank you for watching. Bye.